Okay, go live. Okay.
Now
we are live. You're live. We're live on
alive.
YouTube.
We're alive.
We're alive. It's alive.
Yeah.
All right. If you're watching on YouTube and Discord, still waiting on Dan. He should be here any minute.
Looks like he's joining right now.
There he is. Konnichiwa.
I gotta.
Konnichiwa.
Oh man, I gotta fix.
So
this
we are
to
live
where
on Discord and YouTube this time.
Wow. Okay.
I know. There may be nearly half a dozen people watching.
We are reaching literally tens of homes.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Perhaps.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Now I've got it situated where all three of us look good in the middle of the deal. So.
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh, Bill
we're
O'Reilly
live on
getting mad.
YouTube.
I love
I'm
it.
watching the stream right now.
Yep.
That's great. All right. This is our first time streaming on YouTube, streaming on Discord.
Streaming everywhere.
The power is ours.
Wow.
Just like Captain Planet.
Yeah, so obviously we record every Sunday at this time. We've been doing this for a very long time now, it feels like, since really we've been recording together since 2018. So it's great to finally have this to where we're getting very close to looking like a professional show. Almost. I mean, if I put on more than a shirt, you know.
It's Fisher Price's My First Professional Show.
There you go. That's it.
My first podcast.
Yep. So
we've been doing it for like 3 years.
Yeah,
4 years, whatever it's been.
4 years later, and we've done our first podcast. Here we are. So
it's a slow burn.
It's a slow burn, yeah. So we are streaming live on our YouTube channel, and we're going to start doing that from here on out, unless, you know, for some reason we have an issue where we can't, but just plan on it. We'll also be streaming into our Discord channel where we record too, so make sure you go and join us over on Discord as well. And then, of course, when you're on Discord, you can be in the live studio audience listening to us as we record the show. If you join a little early, you'll always hear a little bit of how the sausage gets made, which is always fun and entertaining. And then, of course, we have a channel over in the Discord to where it's called our on-air chat now. So both places, whether it's YouTube or Discord, you can chat live as you're watching the show and listening to the show live. Give us your thoughts, and we will pump that into the show in some way, shape, or form as we watch it. I'm watching the Discord on-air chat. Daniel's watching the YouTube on-air chat. Maybe Cujo at some point will help us with that. We'll see. He's offered to help us, so that's cool.
I'm watching for dogs. So everybody's got a job. Everyone knows their responsibilities.
That's right. Those of you who have never seen the show, especially on YouTube, Dan is always on the lookout to save dogs.
Yep.
That's what he does.
At any given time, he could jump out of the car and go save a dog live.
Yeah.
Now it'll be live on YouTube when you do it, so that'll be great.
Yeah.
You're a hero.
Yeah.
My big question is, will his shirt remain on this episode?
You know, here's the thing. It's kind of hot. I'm wearing a hoodie. I'm wearing, I'm wearing the Space Force hoodie, which is in heavy rotation. It's in heavy rotation.
Yeah.
Getting hot in here. Take off all your clothes.
And it's getting a little warm out here, so we might
get a show today.
Get your $2 bills ready, because there might be a show.
It has to be a $2 bill instead of a $1 bill because of inflation.
That's actually a thing because of inflation. So I've heard.
Right. Yeah.
That when you go into a strip club, they give you change in $2 bills whenever possible.
Yep.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yep.
That is funny.
All right.
So
let's get started.
Yeah, I was gonna say we may see tattoos from Dan, and if you joined the show a little earlier before we got actually started on a live stream, you might have heard a little story about me seeing someone get a tattoo for the first time as well. So that was interesting.
Really?
Yeah, my daughter walked in and gave me a surprise. It's not small.
Just like that, Dan.
It's not small.
Is it a dolphin?
No, it's like right here in a big vine. Like
oh wow,
a whole section of her. Okay. I can't see, whole section of this, but it wrapped around like a vine. It's just her whole entire forearm.
Goodness.
Her whole entire forearm.
That's very early 2000s.
Yeah.
Well, it's also very early in the morning to be hit with that. So
that's true. That's why she did it, because she knew you're like, well, he's going to be
10 minutes before the show started. I can't be mad.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
she knows what's up.
I know you're not happy, but it could be worse.
Yeah.
I have seen a ridiculous amount of face and neck tattoos in the last few years, and it's like there's no coming back from that.
No,
you could wear a long sleeve shirt. You can't wear a turtleneck for the rest of your life. You can't wear a Captain America style mask to cover up the giant thing on your cheek that I see people with.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
whatever.
I was at a conference the last 2 days, and there was a guy there that had tattoo. He's bald, and he had tattoos all over his face and forehead and right through here. And you could tell he was going for the whole head at one point, and then decided I don't want to do this, and then it's like
just
half
gave
finished,
up.
and but he can't do anything. It's like
he might have run out of money too, because they're not cheap.
Yeah.
People who think you're gonna stroll into a tattoo parlor with $50 and come out with a tattoo.
You're not going
to.
That's
not. No.
A couple $100 at least, if not more.
Ugh.
I mean, I got a buddy of mine who has a business doing that. He actually makes the tattoo guns. I've got one sitting here somewhere. Right here.
Yeah.
Dan Cuban Rotary. I'm surprised that my daughter.
Oh yeah, you were telling us about this guy. Yeah.
So this is one of his original tattoo guns he made way back in the day. He makes these things look like steampunk tattoo guns, but
he made it out of a sewing needle and a Walkman when he was in jail. And when he got out, he said, "Hey, this is a skill that can translate."
No, actually, he's former military, Army. So no, he was tattooing in the Army too. So no, he's a great guy.
In Voyager, when Chakotay did his tattoo, it was a tattoo gun, or did they evolve it for the Federation? They've got some sort of phaser tattoo gun.
Oh, it's just a little. There, you're done.
I think they just beam it onto your face.
And they can beam it right off, so there's no consequences for anything in the 24th century. So
all right, there you go. That's got to be a soundbite. I think they just beam it onto your face, and then they beam it off.
Well, I mean, they do have to clean the holodecks. Yeah.
You play that totally out of context.
Yeah.
6 months from now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Hold on. I got to fix that. I got to fix that. Taryn, turn off your video, buddy. Let's see. How do I
Okay. Let's
I got to figure that out. There we go. Yep, here we go.
Oh, we're going to do a podcast?
Trekcast.
Yeah, we're going to do a podcast. I don't know how well you could hear that. Yeah. Whatever.
No, we heard it.
We heard it.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, Trekcast, the galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast, now spelt Galaxy with a Y apostrophe S. Here we are, Chad, Dan, and Daniel.
That's right.
It's been a hell of a week. Here we are again to talk about all things Trek, and of course, this latest episode, episode 9, will be our topic this week of Picard, where we can talk about all the feels, as always. We want to get right into the news and keep rolling because we've already done our banter of our allotted time of 10 minutes of banter. So here we go.
All right, hang on.
Attention all hands. It's time for Star Trek news.
I hope.
Did you do something different? Because I hear all the sound effects now.
I know. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, no, it's all fixed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So our first news story comes to us from Gizmodo, and so last night was the big premiere in New York for Strange New Worlds, and so now the reviews are starting to come in, and overall the reviews have been quite favorable for Strange New Worlds.
Well, who watched it though? Did only the Paramount executives watch it?
No. They had a lot of media there. They had a lot of just regular entertainment media.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. Was Doomcock there, and did he love it? That's what I want to know.
Right. I guess we'll see. Yeah, when he makes his hate videos.
What they need to do is when new Star Trek comes out, they need to screen it to only Star Wars fans and see what those people say about it.
There you go. So the headline is Strange New World has the classic Trek vibe you've been waiting for. So
please, give me more.
Yeah. So Gizmodo has a big long review about it, but basically he goes on to say that the cast is amazing, the show is really great and fun, it is episodic, and Anson Mount kills it as Captain Pike.
Of course he does. We knew that. Yeah.
Yeah. No kidding, right?
Yeah.
And water is wet. In more news.
Wait a minute. Is water wet, or does water make things wet? I mean,
are there more doors than wheels? We'll never know.
We never found out.
Never found out.
We never took that survey. One of the great mysteries of the galaxy.
Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching this on YouTube. This is how we are, people. Just like cats, just herding cats here. The topic just goes everywhere. Anyways, it's been glowing reviews. A lot of glowing reviews all across the internet. I haven't seen anything negative yet, which is funny because I've seen a few reviews for the latest episode of Picard, and across the board, it has been bad for season 2, even amongst just regular entertainment reviewers. So that's kind of interesting. So
yeah, well, there's reasons for that, but we'll get into it.
Yeah. Next news story comes to us from trekmovie.com, and it says Jerry Ryan and Michelle Hurd talk about huge season 3 for Star Trek Picard. And they mainly talked to Michelle Hurd, Raffi, and she was very excited about working with the TNG crew. She says,
of course she
quote,
is.
Well, yeah. She says, quote, "These are the people I grew up watching, and I feel just like when I first got the call and I found out I was going to be working with Sir Patrick Stewart, or P. Stew, as I like to call him. I just got so giddy." And
She did not.
Did she really call him P. Stew?
She literally calls him P. Stew in this, and that's why I read that out loud.
Holy crap.
Okay. So you know what? Then that says to me that the whole JL thing
is her idea.
Was not in the script. That was her stupid idea.
Could be. But she calls him P. Stew.
Welcome to the hood, P. Stew.
She loves working with P. Stew. Yeah.
I mean, let's just start beatboxing at the same time there, Michelle. Gee, Merry Christmas.
Well, P. Stew sounds like something you would order like on the cheap menu at a bad restaurant.
P. Stew sounds like the one thing at the buffet nobody touches. I mean,
or the one stripper nobody touches. You don't
want
that
Lord,
P-Stew.
If your stripper name is P. Stew, you've got other issues. You need to.
When you say, I can't help it, but when you say P. Stew, I don't think of Michelle Hurd. I think of Amber Heard.
Somebody just said JL sounds a lot better now, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it does. Comparatively, yes.
Yes.
JL does sound a lot better.
Yes, it's all a matter of perspective. And Michelle Hurd is so bad, it makes everything else seem good.
Yeah, exactly.
Good grief.
Yeah, so she's very excited to work with P. Stew and his friends. Still, once again, we don't know, how many episodes the Next Generation crew will be in. Will it be one? Will it be the whole season? Who's to say? But they will be back. That has been announced.
Well,
and
maybe it'll be like
maybe
I was gonna say real quick, maybe it'll be like this season where we thought we'd see a heck of a lot more of John Delancey, and we've barely seen Q. So I really want more of him. But
they originally said he was only going to be in 3 episodes, and he's kind of been in like 4 or 5, but only like one scene at a time.
Yeah,
which tells me he was probably there for like a week or so.
Yep.
Well, they said that because even they don't know what makes an episode. This is a 10-hour movie, and at some point they're going to chop it up. So they're like, it's probably like 3, but it turns out to be 7 because they don't know where the cut points are.
Right. Well, they don't even know what the writing is either. So.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like remember when they said Tig Notaro was only going to be there for like 2 episodes, and I think she ended up being in like 3. And same thing. Mm-hmm. They just didn't know where the cut points were going to be. So, anyways, Spock 2.0, Zachary Quinto, recently spoke to the Hollywood Reporter about JJ or Kelvin versus Star Trek 4 and whether or not they would start filming by the end of the year. To which he says, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Because, they didn't know about this movie about a month ago. So
I like the meme that went out this week, or maybe I don't know where I saw it, but it was the whole which one comes first. Oh no, you put it out, Daniel. Which one comes first, Section 31 or Star Trek 4? And someone said neither.
Yeah, there was quite a few neithers across all the social medias.
I'm in the neither column. I'm pretty sure both of those starships have sailed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think so as well. But yeah, so. Zachary Quinto has gone on to saying that until they get a script, until they've got dates that they're going to be shooting, who knows? And Chris Pine has also said he hasn't seen the script yet or talked to anybody, much less we're going to shoot this day.
Yeah.
Much less sign a contract that says we're going to shoot this day. So hey, there we go.
Yeah.
And then what's his name? Bones. I forget. Carl Urban has also said that he might be busy depending on shooting schedules.
Well, he's got the boys.
So he's got the boys. Just like Dalton Castle, he's got the boys.
It's a great
which
show.
You don't get that reference. Yeah, not that Castle.
No, if you haven't watched the boys over on Amazon, you're missing out.
Indeed.
Someone keeps joining it. I'm gonna have to fix that on our permissions where they can't join the video. Okay. I keep having to fix it. Anyway, we're good.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. So that's the end of the news stories.
All right. Awesome. So now we're gonna go straight into feedback.
Hailing frequencies.
Yeah.
Open.
Boo. I don't think I have anything over on the voicemail. Let me go pull that up real quick and check. And while I'm doing it, I'll go to the coffee account because I know we have some stuff over there. Do we have any emails? I know I don't have any emails. I know that much.
I don't have emails. I did post, that we were going to be recording, and that we did have a question. Our big question this week was, would Evan Evgoria, Legolas in Picard?
Legolas is easier to say than Evan Allegoria, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Would he be good as the Crow? And I put a side by side of him in the leather jacket and his hair down in his face.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, he matches up almost perfectly as the Crow in my mind.
Yep.
And across the board, there's been a lot of like, well, yeah, of course. There has been a handful of, well, can he act? Which is.
Sure he can.
I mean, I think he can. Yeah.
I like Elnor. I like Elnor's character.
Yeah, I think Elnor's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Space Legolas does fine.
Legolas does fine. Yep.
Yeah. So the general consensus is that he can do it, but there's a handful of people who are reserved about it. But there you go.
All right, and so then over on the coffee account, Eric Woods gave us a donation a day ago, and he says, again, guys, great to hang in Chicago. The experience was much more enjoyable palling around with others of similar nerdy persuasion. Hopefully STLV 2023 is in the cards for some serious Trekcast partying.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll see. STLV as being the Vegas one, I know I can't make that this summer. There's too much. My schedule is...
That's too much.
Well, just this next week is the first week where I won't be traveling for the week for the first time in 8. So, and it's going to go right back to that schedule again afterwards. So, yeah, I mean, it's just nuts.
Yeah.
Anyway, then another one from Commander Felton. This was just 19 hours ago. He says, keep up the good work. So glad to see you back, Commander. Appreciate the support and the donations, guys.
Yes,
all that money is going to go towards our next convention.
You both.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you, both of you guys. Yeah.
And we learned a lot from that convention in terms of what we want to do, namely, plan next time.
Right. We'll plan next time. Yeah, we'll have a game plan. We'll let you guys know in advance. It'll be fine.
Yep, it'll be good. It'll be good. A little bit of planning will do wonders. And it was great even without the planning. It was wonderful seeing everybody. It was wonderful hanging out. It was great running into listeners. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
so
it was awesome.
It was awesome. So good times. I think that's it for feedback. Do we want to go right into the top? 20 minutes in, we're already at the topic. I think that's a record for us.
It is a record
maybe
for us.
because we were talking for 10 minutes before.
And we were live streaming.
Talking about Star Trek in this week's topic. Talking about the Star Trek in this week's topic.
All right, and now we are talking about the latest episode of Picard, Hide and Seek. It's the 9th episode of Season 2. I don't know who directed it. I don't know who wrote it. I don't want to go in to besmirch that person by saying their name on the air. So
who do we blame for this?
No, we've talked about this a lot this year. This year specifically, we've talked a lot about, negativity and, complaining and being angry on the show and all that stuff. And I'm going to try really hard this morning not to be. So
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Before we start, what's something you liked about it?
So, first and foremost,
we got some more Baltar.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah.
All right.
For a few short seconds,
that was
but
nice.
I do actually like that they've resolved Rios's. What's Rios going to do? Is he going to stay or is he going to go? They resolved it real quick. He's already made his decision. He's given a good reason as to why he should go even though he doesn't want to. And I think they finally kind of treated that situation with the doctor and the kid in a fast, sweet, short out kind of way.
It was realistic.
It was realistic. Want to do it, but can't, got to go. And it was probably the one part of the entire episode that seemed, I mean, the whole show obviously isn't realistic, but it seemed realistic. But because everybody else is in the middle of their dealing with everything that's going on, which is happening super quick, somehow has like this time dilation slowdown like Picard had on the planet in Insurrection with the lady, where he can, slow all the time down, for that one singular moment. Like everybody else is able to do that in this entire episode, which could have only been about 15 minutes long. But
I like that there was quite a bit of Brett Spiner. Whether or not what they're doing, this character is different.
Yeah,
whether I like that, but I do like that he's in the show.
Brent is fun.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah, he's fun.
You know what's crazy about who's the character he's playing? What's his name? Is it Eric Soon, or is it?
I thought it was Adam.
I don't know.
Adam Soon?
Adam.
I thought it was Adam.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think Daniel's right.
I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at how he's aged, and where like the parts of his face are sagging, and he's got the age lines and whatnot, and he looks just like Dr. Sung from the TNG episodes.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Where he played his own father. They did a good job aging him back then. Yeah. And back then, I looked at it and I'm like, all right. But now seeing how he actually aged,
yeah,
I guess they kind of hit the nail on the head.
They matched it up much better than Wesley.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's true.
The Traveler didn't turn out to look anything like that. Oh boy. No, so
they should draw him that way. Like if he goes on Lower Decks, draw him like that aged up Wesley.
Oh, that's hysterical. Yes, please.
Because you could have Will Wheaton voice him, but make him look like that dude. Yeah.
That's hysterical.
That would be good.
Well, he could technically look like, well, I don't know. He doesn't have the power to look like anything he wants, but I mean, that's not what the Traveler's power is, but
yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just
it really doesn't matter. No, just he could play any character just with Will Wheaton's voice. So something, But yeah, that'd be kind of funny. All right, so another thing I liked about this episode, obviously the visual effects and the screenshots and everything else are always gorgeous. It's always a beautiful show to watch. But I can see what they're about ready to do with this 2 Renee thing, and I'm hoping that gives us some sort of resolution with Laris or whoever the chick is that's not Laris. I'm hoping they resolve that in the next episode.
What do you think they're going to do with the 2 Renee thing? Because I'm into fan theories here.
So I bet you she gets on the Laris who's not Laris. I bet you she gets on the thing taking Renee's place, and nobody realizes it. Because for some reason there's only one person on this entire crew. And then Renee lives. So, but the mission dies or something. I don't know. Like
I have a different thought.
But
okay, I want to see if I have a different one than Dan. Go ahead, Dan.
I think both of these timelines are so intertwined at this point that they both have to continue for each of them to survive. Okay. And so both of these timeline, Picard and crew are going to be able to go back to their own original timeline, but this other timeline has to continue. And maybe this is the birth of the mirror universe. We thought we saw the birth of the mirror universe in Enterprise, but that wasn't the birth of it. That was just the first time we've seen it to that point. Yeah. So I'm thinking this is the birth of the mirror universe. They both have to continue to exist in order for the other one to exist. And that's why there has to be 2 Renees. But that also gives them the opportunity for Rios to bring his family with him, his new family with him to the future. In that they were never going to live their life out in that alternate timeline anyway. So He will bring them with him, and there will essentially be 2 of them in that universe. One lived their life out in the early 21st century. The one from the mirror universe before it was the mirror universe will live out their lives in the 25th century with him. Did that make sense?
That makes sense. So this is interesting because all 3 of us have different theories.
Yeah.
So here's mine.
The other question becomes: Is this Q then? Is this the same Q we've always known, or is this some sort of mirror universe?
And then that's why he doesn't have as much power because he's not in his right universe.
He's in the wrong universe. Or he's stuck in the other universe, or the Q that we know is, negating everything he does, and there's going to be some double Q, some Q squared action going on in the last episode. I don't know.
That's so messy. I hope they don't do that. That's messy.
I mean, in Marvel Comics, right, the Infinity Gauntlet only works in its universe. If you take it to a different universe, it doesn't work. It's just rocks. So, maybe a similar idea.
Or we've been seeing. Okay, so here's an idea. We've been seeing both Qs throughout the show, but we don't know which is which. We don't know that we've been seeing. So some of these scenes are the Q that we know. Some of these scenes are mirror Q, and maybe Qs can exist in other universes, but they can't affect each other. So our Q,
or they like cancel each other out.
Yes, our Q cannot directly affect the other Q, his counterpart. So instead, he has to steer someone else in the right direction to counteract what that other Q is doing. So who's his most trusted non-Q? Who's his most trusted non-Q ally? Jean-Luc Picard.
Taryn says, yeah, but Q didn't have an issue with bright lights. So, I mean...
Neither did anybody else after those few episodes where they mentioned that. It was one of those abandoned things.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel, what do you got?
So I think this. So they need 2 Renees, right? Yep. And they happen to be dealing with the crazy doctor who clones people. Why would you introduce a character who does cloning and has a history of cloning when you need 2 of them?
I mean, is there enough time though? Is there enough time for him to
They made a whole other robot Picard in one episode.
Well, yeah, but that's the 24th century. Are they
whatever.
able to clone a Renee right then and there? Interesting.
Just takes one graphic at the bottom. 6 months later, hey, we've grown our robot.
Well, the mission.
Renee.
You know what?
The
it
thing
doesn't
takes
have
off
to
in a
be
few
an
minutes.
actual.
You think little things like plot holes are going to stop them?
It doesn't have to be the actual Renee Picard. History just needs to record that it was Renee Picard.
Yeah.
So for that reason,
mannequin in the ship.
What was that?
They just put a mannequin in the ship, like a straw mannequin with a bad wig.
Well, yeah, like Spaceman in the Tesla that Elon Musk launched up.
Well, you can have Corey take the place of the Renee who's going to die because she's going to die anyway because the Q serum that she got isn't permanent. For that matter, all you need is Renee to step onto La Serena for a minute, and apparently they can just make a holographic version of her that has all of her memories. That's a big giant plot hole that we need to touch on too.
Oh my God, they took away the La Serena. Remember the Borg lady just like, oh, I'm gonna take this now.
Well, let's get to that.
I still need to talk about how ridiculous that is. That you've got this ECH, which I'm sorry, that acronym's already taken. It's the Emergency Command Hologram. But anyway, so you got this ECH, this Emergency Combat Hologram, which they base on what's his name? I can't think of his name now. Legolas.
Yeah.
And how does it have all of his memories? If you want to use his physical appearance, I get that, but the fact that it has all of his memories and it's essentially a semi-sentient rebirth of him.
How did that even happen?
That come from?
Yeah,
That's
where'd that come
ridiculous.
from? How'd that happen? That's not a thing. People don't have like memory crystals in the back of their head backing up their memory to to a computer at all times. I'm not sure where the hell that came from.
If
it was an interesting thing for them to have some closure for what's her name.
And if you want to have her have a moment with this hologram because it looks like him, I get that. But him to be like, oh, I have all the memories, so I know that he loved you, or whatever stupid thing he said. That's
Secrets of the mind. Secrets of the mind. Cujo says, yeah. That's all it is with Kurtzman. Magic blood and mysteries of the mind. So even if it's a holographic mind or a not real boy Pinocchio Picard, right? So yeah, it's all the same thing. They had to come up with some sort of MacGuffin in order to get them to have that conversation there, so that Raffi could have some sort of closure, which maybe means that Elnor's not coming back. So let's look at the consequences of that. If they wanted to put that scene in there for them to have for her to have that kind of closure, does that mean that Elnor's not going to come back? Does that mean Elnor's dead permanently? Like, even with everything being resolved in the next episode, because it's one episode now to resolve all this giant minutia they've created, is Elnor coming back?
I don't think he is.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Doesn't feel like it.
I don't think he is, and he shouldn't, unless, because it doesn't make sense. If you're going to reset his death, that means you're resetting everything that happened in that alternate future.
Well, you are.
Which negates everything that happened. I don't think they are. I think both timelines need to exist.
Well, I mean, the other timeline can always exist.
Events that happen.
Yeah, that other timeline can always exist. That's just the way that the timelines like this work. But I mean, like, when they go back to where they started this whole thing from, with a snap of a finger from Q, is like I'll bet money that that's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, if you want to finish it, if he's going to come back as some sort of parting gift from Q, and he's just going to snap his fingers and bring him back from the dead, I get that. In the world that we've established and the abilities of the Q, that makes sense. But if we're going to hold ourselves to things are happening because other things have happened, and timelines and fixing timelines, then no, he's got to stay dead. Otherwise, you cheapen everything that they've done for the whole season.
But they're going to cheapen it, just like they did with Picard. They're either going to bring him back as a Picard variant, another one of those, or like Taryn just said, he had a mobile emitter on. It's not like the Borg Queen destroyed the holographic emitter, or did she? When she reached back with a tentacle, is that why Elnor disappeared? She hit the emitter and turned him off. I mean, there's got to be a backup somewhere. So that version of him as a hologram with a holographic emitter could always be around.
Okay, all right. You're talking about him coming back as a hologram. I thought you were talking about him coming back to life.
Either one. I think they're going to have his character back. I don't think he's going to come back as alive. I don't think they'll redo that part of it. I think he'll either be a hologram, like Taryn just said, or he'll be
he's going to be their Tilly.
Not a real boy.
He's going to be their Tilly. He'll come back every now and then, but he's not a regular cast member anymore.
Man, it's so muddy. It's so muddy.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they do at this point. They've got one episode, and what they're going to wind up doing is the same thing that they did at the end of season 1 of Discovery. They had this great setup and this great, even though it was kind of like, what the hell's going on? And these Klingon, whatever. It was a great setup. Looking back on it now, it was wonderful compared to what they're doing recently. So, like we said before, right? And so they should have stuck with that, and now they're going to do the same. They're going to repeat that same mistake where they get this whole crazy mix of a story that's just all over the damn place. With even so much so that they stop in the middle of a fight. Yeah, they stop in the middle of a fight in order for Picard to resolve his memories about his dead mother. Even a key, they just comes out of the why the one Borg drone dude have the key on him? What the hell? So And so they even stop in the middle of that. But they're not going to be able to resolve it in one episode. That's all I was going to say. They're not going to be able to resolve it cleanly in one episode. So it's going to be just like the end of the Klingon War, where all of a sudden, we're done. It's going to be like that in this next season, next episode as well. Whether there's a cliffhanger of some kind or not that leads into season 3, I don't know. No one can speculate on that and just guess. But I mean, it's not going to be clean. I can tell you that.
As long as Rios has got a soccer ball full of explosives, I'll be happy. like he did end of last season.
Why in the world did he tell Soong that thing was going to blow up in his hand? I mean, come on, dude, seriously? I mean,
butterflies.
Don't want him to die? I don't know. I just kill the guy.
Get
move
about
on.
Data later.
Yeah, kill the guy and
he
move on.
He kills him right then and there. That's another timeline.
It is another timeline already. It doesn't. Nothing that happens in this bubble matters.
You get a timeline. Yeah. You get a timeline. Everybody gets a timeline.
It doesn't matter. Kill the guy and move on.
One thing I did like that they did, even though like they'll ignore. It's weird. They'll just ignore established canon 1 week, and then the next week they'll drop a mention or drop an Easter egg or a callback to show that, hey, we are paying attention to established canon. Like when they started showing his mother and we started getting the idea that his mother died as a young lady. Okay, I got all ornery inside because I know that in season 1 or season 2 of TNG, Picard hallucinates and sees his mother, and she offers him a cup of tea, and she's an old lady. Mm-hmm. And then they dropped a mention this week where he says, after she died for years, I used to daydream and think about her coming to me as an old lady and asking me if I wanted tea.
Yeah.
So they directly reference that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, all right, cool. But his brother never shows up through all of these flashbacks.
Yeah.
His brother is not there.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I just realized we forgot?
To feed back the people listening?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought about that a little bit ago.
After
I was
all
already
that,
like, well, screw it then. I'll believe it.
After all that.
We got excited, people.
We did. We got excited. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, let's finish up here and then we'll do that. And
okay.
All right. So do we have any predictions? What will be the cliffhanger? Because clearly there's going to be a cliffhanger.
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, it could be anything at this point. I mean, they could just have the whole thing unresolved.
Crew,
so
do we think the TNG crew will show up as the cliffhanger?
No,
like they show up like, we're here to help you, Captain.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I hope they don't. I hope they don't, because you would have to build this whole storyline as to why they're all together, and you can't do that in 44 minutes.
You don't have to do that. They just pop up, and then they can explain next season,
like the ending of Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Exactly. I could see them doing that, man. Because think about the internet buzz.
Only if they are all dressed exactly the way they were dressed in All Good Things, and they're going to show that the timeline is like circling back that moment. That's the only way. That's the only gratifying way that they could all show up in the last episode for me, as if it's totally normal. They're on the 3 nacelle altered Enterprise D, and Riker's the admiral in command, and Worf's the governor of Hatoria. You know, Beverly's got her turkey neck and her captain's bars on. And
do they show up in the Enterprise or on the Titan?
Oh, in the Enterprise. That's what I said. In the 3 nacelle beefed up Enterprise D.
Okay.
But the timelines are all kaput.
See, I just think about, if you're a studio head, you don't care about characters, you don't care about storyline, all you care is about the bottom line and getting people excited and driving people to your streaming service. What is going to get more people talking and wanting to pay for at least a month to see what happens next year on Picard than they all showed up at the end and then it went to credits?
Well, and then it's...
But think about it. In All Good Things, Picard is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs with his Uromatic syndrome. He's having hallucinations all over the place. So they could all show up in their All Good Things uniform. It's like, oh, you're here. And they're like, somebody put him back to bed. And he's like, no. You see, I was in the past. I was in the past with Renee Picard and 7 of 9. And they're like, what the hell is a 7 of 9? And like, he's the only one that remembers anything the last 2 seasons. As far as anybody else is concerned, this is TNG season 8.
Oh, Lord. Ooh, good grief.
I don't know if I love that or hate it or both.
I don't know. That's...
But what you just said, what would get people excited?
Yeah.
And that would get people excited.
They're not smart enough to have written that, Dan. They're just not smart enough to have written that. I hate to say it.
No, you know what? So there's another show that I watched that has these very similar problems where they're writing for an audience of 1. And people on the internet complain about it. And I have a feeling, just like that show, the writers actually do know stuff. It's just that who's ever in charge just does not want to do the correct things. And I'm wondering if that's the case here. Because I can't imagine, like, a lot of these writers, they're old diehard fans. They probably know these things. And then whoever's in charge is just being told, no, we're not doing that.
You know, we will never get one of these writers on air talking to us about that to get any kind of confirmation with it, because they'll get fired if they. But
they'll do it 10 years later at a convention.
Yeah.
After then we'll hear about all this.
Well, it'll just be like this show. 10 years later, we'll hear about something that happened in the background that makes us totally rethink everything we've said for the last 2 seasons of Picard. Just like they're going to do with the next episode of this show, where they're going to reset the whole damn thing and make us rethink everything that's happened in the last 2 episodes or last 2 seasons of Picard. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like I feel like no matter what we do at this point or what they do at this point, it's a little bit of a mess. I don't know if there's any way that they can really get any kind of wrap around that really satisfies this season, because it's a mess. It's all over the place. Right. Like for instance, what in the world are they going to do with Agnes and the Borg Queen with what they did in this latest episode, right?
So on her way to fight Scott Pilgrim.
Well, now they've introduced feels, right? Into Trek big time. Like every scene has to have a side scene where we discuss our feelings, right? I mean, that's just what they do. That's what they do on this show. That's what they did on Discovery. It's just what they do. Okay, so whatever. I'm over it. But now they've done it to where they
sound
have
like
to.
You are, but okay.
Not really. No. Now they've gone to where they have to introduce the feels to the Borg. So now the Borg have to get in line with having these feels too, and have to treat people differently. And somehow Agnes has been able to convince the Borg Queen of all people to think about other people's feels. Right? I mean. Just what in the
I like that her argument was basically, have you tried not being a dick? People will like you.
Yeah, and the Borg Queen actually listened to that. Like, where's her the entire Borg's...
She made a good point though. She told her what you've been doing hasn't worked. You gotta try something else.
See, that part I get.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's where that whole conversation was like, what the? But yeah, but kind of like what the? But kind of like yeah, but. I mean, it doesn't.
She made the right point, but worded it weirdly.
Well, and also, the Borg Queen had no argument against any of it. Like, what happened to perfection? That's the entire antithesis of what the Borg are, is the search for perfection. It's not about the search for connection. It's about the search for perfection. And they've totally twisted that in this entire season, where now the Borg are, all she's after is connection. She's not after the search for perfection. Well, that's what the Borg have always been. So when did that change?
If she had said something along the lines
because it's unattainable.
Perfection is unobtainable?
Sorry, I'm just saying it's unobtainable.
Well, since when has the Borg Queen thought that?
No, I was going to say, if Agnes had argued that if people consensually help the Borg out, right, they agreed to be part of it. No, hold on. Don't get a hold of me, Rush. Hold on. But if she said if they willingly joined the Borg, then it is a more perfect union because they decided to be a part of it, as opposed to being forced into it. Whereas then they're going to always fight to be out of it.
So basically, collaboration is better than subjugation.
Right.
Which now she has to say that when they hail a ship, they have to say, "We are the Borg. Collaboration is more efficient than subjugation. Prepare to be assimilated if you want to.
We've got a PowerPoint we'd like to show you about assimilation. You might really dig it.
Yeah, the
assimilation right for you. That's the.
We'd like to tell you about our Lord and Savior assimilation.
No, it's all about consent, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to ask for your consent before we assimilate you.
Oh man,
it's just like everything
Star
else.
Trek, me too.
It's woke Borg. It's consensual now. It has to be. We have to ask for consent. Kind of like the remix of that Christmas song. Baby, it's cold outside. Right? We have to make it to where it's consensual.
Yeah.
No, but it makes sense though, because if they're not fighting you to lead the collective and they're actually wanting to be there, then it is far more perfect situation.
Well, okay. See, that is a valid argument, and if you had a real logical argument here instead of an argument about feels, then this conversation would probably make more sense. But there's no logic. It's not a logical argument. It's an emotional appeal to someone who doesn't really have emotions. So
right.
It's really interesting. It's just I don't know. It's just I don't know if I'd call it interesting.
No, she does. She does have emotions, and every time we've seen the Borg Queen, she does have emotions.
She does.
It's the drones that she keeps from expressing their emotions.
That's correct. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
So if she had this conversation with a random drone, it would have gone nowhere. But she was
right.
Having it with Agnes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was better ways to present it. It's not that the argument was bad; it's how they presented it. Was my issue with it.
Yeah, it was awkward to say the least.
Yeah.
I was just watching it going, no, what?
Yeah.
So does this get back to, is the Borg that shows up on Rios' ship, is that Agnes? Is that why they had a thing over her face?
They want us to think that, and they've led us down this road to think that, and I can't help but think at the last minute they're gonna flip it again, and it's too easy now for that to be Agnes. They're gonna flip it, and it's got to be someone else. Maybe it's Renee.
Seven.
Renee. There's Laris.
Seven.
That would be interesting.
Seven.
Yeah. Do you think we'll see who it is by the end of the next episode?
No, they'll just forget it. I think they'll just forget it at this point and just leave that as a giant gaping. No one cares.
Like answer it maybe third season, maybe.
Nah, it's not gonna get answered.
When Picard had his heart-to-heart with Renee outside of the party, I can't recall. Did he tell her to look up? Did he tell her the thing that his mom used to say to him, look up? Okay.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, because isn't that the last thing the Super Borg Queen said to him before the explosion was look up?
Ooh.
I don't recall that.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. That sounds familiar.
I'm pretty sure it is. So
yeah,
I'm starting to go that way. That it's Renee. Renee is the Borg Queen.
Boy, talk about a weird finale. Then how does that happen? Because the Borg just left. She just left in the La Serena. She just took off. She wanted to go 400 light years to the Delta Quadrant. So how does that happen?
She's got plenty of time.
There's no such thing as time. There is no such thing as plot. There is no. I mean, who knows? So,
such thing as character development.
All right. Do you want to go ahead and bring in some of our live studio audience for their feedback here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Go through and because we were supposed to do that during feedback.
Yeah.
So, Trekcast is taped before a live studio.
Cujo, Chaz Biz, you guys can unmute your mics. And then you can give us your thoughts. Please don't turn on your video, though. Just do your mics. Appreciate it. I got to figure out how to restrict that. Cujo, go for it. Hey, man.
How's it going, boys?
Good. How you doing?
Hey.
Good. Just going along for the ride here. I love all your theories.
Yeah. They're outlandish, just like the writing. So what's your thoughts?
Which one do you like the best?
Oh.
Yeah. Tell us who do you like better?
Oh, look at the time. I gotta go.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But anyway.
Chad's Disco, yeah.
That's the one where we can bring back the Chad Sisko.
They're all really good. They're all really good. I do like Daniel's theory though. I mean, that sounds like classic Hollywood to kind of just drop the TNG crew as a cliffhanger so that everybody would come back for season 3.
Yeah. Come back and watch this train wreck again.
It's show business, not show. Let's make this good.
Yeah. They're there to make money. So, yeah, they're there to make money. So, I'm not gonna lie. It would be like an oh shit moment to see everybody.
That's the thing.
That would be great, right? I just don't know if it really does anything for the storyline of season 2.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to.
That's right. Kind of like the Enterprise coming in at the very end of was it season 1 or season 2 of Discovery, when the Enterprise just kind of swoops in and they can't talk to him and they don't know why, and their communications are on the fritz, and there's NCC 1701. It's the Enterprise.
If we learned anything from Morbius, it's they don't care about plot. It's we want the oh shit moments.
Yeah. Well, again, because we want everybody out there watching and listening along to have the feels to go along with it, right? Consensual feelings. Consensual feelings. Yeah. That should have been the show title of this week instead of hell yeah. It should have been consensual feelings, but that's okay.
That's just for the live stream. We'll change it.
Yeah, it's okay. Up to you. Chaz Biz, do you want to unmute your mic and give us any feedback? Yes, no, let me know. There you go.
Yes.
Go for it.
I got a question for Daniel.
Yeah.
Okay, the show you're talking about that one person's watching, is it Doctor Who?
No, but that's a good guess. That's a really good guess. Yeah.
Because they ran that show too. So
I know.
And I know. What's the show you're talking about? Or are you too embarrassed to say?
He's talking about WWE.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Vince McMahon has no idea what he's doing. Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That was a good guess on my part.
Picard,
yeah, you got it right.
Well, got close. So what I was going to say about Picard is, how you watch a show and you get mad because at the end it's all a dream.
Yeah.
This is one that I wouldn't mind if he woke up and it was all a dream. And just in the 2 years, he's just been in this deep sleep, and he wakes up, and then he sees Q, and then ended that way.
As long as he wakes up next to Laris, and it's all a dream. Then it's fine.
Exactly. And then he has little kids all dressed in Dixonian outfits and everything.
Little Johnny Fives, little robots.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, because he'd be a real boy again, so he could have kids. Yeah.
With little top hats and look like Oliver Twist as Johnny Five.
So, I mean, that would be a great ending for Picard. What about a great ending for 7 of 9? If all this is just a dream and it gets reset, then it doesn't matter what's happened to her.
That was the part I was screaming about. Is she had a big gaping wound in her abdomen, right?
Yep.
So it's right in her stomach. So Borg Queen, or Agnes, whatever, goes in there and does her work. And somehow she has the optical lobe back and all her old Borg parts. Yeah. So that makes zero sense. It was why would it go to her eye and why would it go to her neck? Because that version of 7 of 9 never had Borg probes. Because that's original. Or
correct.
Annika Hansen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Annika. Yeah.
Yeah.
In that timeline.
So that makes zero sense.
I mean, it makes sense that if she has to implant Borg nanoprobes into her to save her life, that there's some consequence to that, as in she's kind of Borgified. So that part of it I get. I don't get why they had to have the exact same.
Yeah, she looked different. Maybe. You guys watched Boba Fett and Mandalorian, right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Okay, the one lady got shot in the stomach and she had a big robo implant on her stomach. That's what 7 of 9 could have had.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then you just never see it.
You just lift up her shirt and say this is what happened to me. There you go.
You could have sold more toys because then you had Voyager 709, you had Picard 709. Yeah.
Exactly. There you go. And then she could have a halter top on with her stomach shown. That's Borgified.
Yeah.
I don't even think you need that.
Yeah.
You need the probes You need the probes to go into her body to repair the damage.
Mm-hmm.
And since these aren't regular Borg nanoprobes, they're Agnes version of the nanoprobes. They go in, they do their job, and then they come back out, and they go back into the Queen.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're not there. They're not there to assimilate her. They're there to fix her.
Yeah.
And my other
which would then show a difference in the Borg, like they're trying to do.
Right. Yeah. They could have gone in and fixed, and then had a little pop-up window in her vision saying, "Would you like us to stay? Would you like to know more?"
Oh, man.
Like she has to accept the cookies.
Yeah. She has to reach up with a virtual hand and say accept. You know.
First she's got to watch an ad.
Would you like us to repair your stomach? Yes.
It's like watch the 10-second ad and hit the skip button and then you go.
Oh, that's when they assimilate the Ferengi, and then it's every time there's a pop-up ad.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're trying to reach you about your extended nanoprobe warranty.
Your knees hurt. Watch this ad, and then we'll fix them.
Well, they turned the Borgs into social workers now.
Yeah.
One person has changed the whole Borg continuum.
Yeah.
Because she's smarter than everybody. She's like, aha, I did this and this. And like, wait a second, maybe I should be good Borg Queen. So it makes zero sense.
Yeah,
Wait, now that they're showing that the Borg can just magically fix people, are they going to fix Q? And we'll have a Q Borg?
I don't know.
I hope not. Because he's non-corporeal.
I don't think the Borg can do anything about a Q.
Man,
do you think that would stop Kurtzman?
This season, I hate it. You know,
Yeah.
I just hate it. It's like, why would you put him on the back burner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they ruined like Data's character, was it Soong or whatever he is? He's just idiotic on here. It makes zero sense.
He's like a James Bond villain.
He is very much a James Bond villain, where he's smart, he's got the money, he's got the intelligence to be able to do certain things, but then doesn't make common sense judgments.
That's my other theory. Is why they all look alike. Is they're all clones of himself.
Yeah.
And they're all different names.
Yep.
Because he keeps cloning his daughter, and then she dies, and he's trying to reach perfection of himself, and he's cloning himself throughout the ages.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So Chazbiz, I got a question for you.
Okay.
You there?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold you to the same standard that we hold ourselves to. Say something nice about this episode.
It had good visual effects.
There you go. It always looks pretty. That's always the one thing everyone says.
That is the biggest cop-out answer.
Well,
I mean, it's not wrong, but you know.
It's not wrong. Well, I made my wife watch this, and she's not a Star Trek fan, okay? So we watched Deep Space Nine first, which was a good one, and she liked it.
Yeah.
And then it was like, we're going to watch Next Gen, and then we're going to watch Picard. And we're watching Picard, and she's like, this is stupid. And every episode, she like just breaks it down. And I'm like, I know.
So Taryn wrote something in the on-air chat that's actually pretty good, and it says it was Agnes bringing Seven back to who she was because the whole season was about accepting your experiences, which make you who you are today. I mean, overall, that's a very good point. That's a very good point, Taryn.
Yeah.
Overall, that's
true.
That is true. That's what the entire season is about: is accepting your experiences that make you who you are. So, yeah.
I think all the species that the Borg Queen has taken over, like Vulcans, everything, like that have talked to her. Yeah. And even in the Delta Quadrant, like species that you never even seen or heard of because they're already wiped out and gone. And then this one person all of a sudden like, you changed my mind. It's just kind of strange to me.
Well, I get that, but also...
You sank my battleship.
Yeah.
You sank my battleship. I was like, oh, really? Be nice to people. Didn't think of that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no kidding. But no, I will say this. They have demonstrated throughout this season, though, that any of the interactions between Agnes and the Borg Queen has always thought of Agnes as being a little unique. Something about her is different. Something about her always throws the Borg Queen off a little bit, and she's impressed by Agnes. She even says that at one point when she's hanging from the ceiling still. So, I mean, they've set that part of it up. I get that. Yeah. I mean, at some point, someone changes your mind, right? In your life, as you're going through life and you have a certain opinion on things, and you got a bunch of people around you that either echo chamber that or just agree with you. And then you meet someone who really changes your mind about things and really makes you see things in a different perspective. That happens. I mean, so it's okay that it happened with Agnes and one person. You know, she's one of the main characters of the show. So I get that. But still, yeah, it's a silly argument.
What it is.
That bullet to the head that Hitler took changed his mind. So, and that
true.
So.
This is a true fact.
I think what it is, we have a Borg queen with no collective.
Yeah.
If a Borg queen with a collective standing behind her, has a conversation with someone, that person's one voice is drowned out by the 16,000 voices in the Borg Queen's head.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Whereas this is different. It's a one-on-one interaction. So I would imagine she doesn't have the will to sway Agnes's opinion. Yeah. You know, she's more susceptible to Agnes's will and Agnes's opinions.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't have this 16,000 person deep echo chamber behind her.
Right.
So.
Yeah, she's like a Sean Hannity fan. Finally, not listening to Sean Hannity for the first time in 5 years. Right.
Oh my gosh. Well, when somebody's preaching to the choir, well, it's kind of like Twitter right now. It's like the toxicity of Twitter. And everybody like in this big echo chamber, and everybody agreeing with the same thing, and that's why Elon kind of is like, "Hey, we need to balance it out." So maybe Elon's got Agnes in him. Maybe Elon is Agnes. So
maybe Elon needs to buy Paramount Plus next to fix it.
Yeah. Oh God, the Paramount Plus app this week was pissing me off. It wouldn't play.
Yeah, I know.
On my TV. Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. It took me 3 tries to watch this latest episode. So.
Oh, I couldn't get past the second commercial break. It just wouldn't play, so I had to watch it on my computer.
Interesting.
So do you guys have the commercial version, or do you have the...
Yeah, we had the commercial.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have the one with no commercials, but they try to throw a commercial in there every now and then.
Of course they do.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm paying the premium, so... Yeah. That's probably why I'm a little salty right now. I'm paying the premium for Star Trek, and...
Yeah,
they're not giving me what I want.
Well, just go watch the old shows then. That's the only place you can get them nowadays. I love
them. You know, it's like when Lower Decks gets the canon right better than like a little cartoon that respects the fans can get the show better than like, the show that people have been in like multiple episodes, and they take your favorite characters and they're just like, hey, let's mess with them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a great thing about Lower Decks.
In a way, Lower Decks has to get the canon right because half the jokes based on the canon.
They do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't work. So.
Yeah. No, Lower Decks is definitely a gem of a show. They've done it right. Mike is fantastic with their writing crew and everybody else that's doing all that over there. They've really pulled that one off. That's good.
Yeah, the second season really got me because the first season it was almost too much Mariner, and now it's like
she takes a little getting used to. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, oh, well, after watching Michael Burnham, you're like, oh, another character like this again, and then like she's kind of toned down, and I really like Lower Decks. So
I've grown to like Tawny Newsome a lot.
Once you realize. Once you realize that you don't have to take Mariner seriously, it becomes enjoyable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Michael, you're supposed to take her seriously, and that's why you can't stand it.
Can't stand it.
Well,
yeah.
You gotta stand there and you gotta like smile and nod your head and look at each other like, yeah, she's the greatest. And kind of wink over. I like her. She's got pizzazz. So.
Well, it's like I've said before. It's the show, don't tell.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But even in Picard, they did that where they were like, when Seven tells Raffi, like, oh, you manipulate people. And then they do the flashback of her manipulating Legolas.
Yeah.
Like, they told us and then showed us. Like, come on, you almost had it in the right order.
Correct. But No, I mean, Tawny Newsome with Mariner has really grown on me quite a bit. I really enjoy her ability to do that character, and I like her in Space Force as well, which there's a season 2 of, if you guys didn't realize that.
Anymore.
Yeah, but there isn't going to be a season 3. They just canceled it yesterday.
Did they? I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah.
Interesting.
Netflix ran off $54 billion, so they're hitting the cancel button pretty quick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're canceling everything.
Yeah.
Just like Warner Brothers is right now.
You know who's laughing about that? Buster.
Who?
Blockbuster.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Buster.
For sure. They've created a never-ending beast. I don't know if they'll be profitable anytime soon. So.
Oh, we all saw the writing on the wall because it started. Netflix was popular because you could binge your old shows, and that's how I got to watch all the Star Trek was because of Netflix.
Yep.
When they put Deep Space Nine on there, and they put Next Gen, because they put shows that if you bought them on the DVD sets, they were really expensive back in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And the Netflix threw them all on there, and you're like, oh wow, it's only like what? Back then was what, $7.99 a month, so that's cheap to watch the whole season. Yeah. No commercials or anything.
My prediction on Netflix is we're at the beginning of a very long and very slow spiral down, because they are not going to have the back catalog that everybody else has, and everybody else now has their own streaming services to have the back catalog in. And even though they've done a good job at producing new shows on their own, it's not enough. Because there's no way to have it be enough of 30 years behind them of shows that people like to rewatch, right? It's just there's no way to have enough of that.
So Netflix is Kmart.
Yeah, exactly. They turn into Kmart.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Now whether they survive or not, I don't know. I just know that they're never going to be on the high end like they have been up until now. It's not. They've peaked. So
the binge method is over, because when you just do a whole dump of shows, people forget about it within a week. It's like, I didn't even know there was a second season of Space Force because they just dumped it on there.
Yeah, there's too much. There's too much now. And
then it gets lost in the algorithm. And then you look at the top 10 on Netflix, and you're like, who's watching Netflix? Like, I don't know, a bunch of children or something?
No, there's still quite a few people watching Netflix, but I mean, The Witcher's fantastic, so there's that. But but is that enough to sustain an entire streaming service? We'll have to find out. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up. Chaz, hey, it's Cujo. I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna mute your guys' mics at this point. Thanks for coming on for our feedback. Sorry we didn't do it during the feedback section. I'll try to get better about that. And of course, we were streaming over on YouTube. Let's see. Boom. Gotcha. Now you're muted, Chaz. I have the power. Of course, we were streaming over on YouTube today as well, so the show's already up there as soon as we hit the done button. Any closing thoughts from the two of you guys? And sorry if that was rude, Chaz and Cujo. If you had some other things to say, just type it out in chat and complain to me later. Sorry.
Next week's going to be really cool because we'll have the end of Picard and we'll have the start of Strange New Worlds. So it'll be back-to-back episodes. Yeah. So that'll be fun.
That'll be a big one.
I'm excited to talk about that.
So set your alarm clocks, set your timing. We're going to be back here again next week with 2 shows to talk about. The finale of Picard Season 2 and the premiere of Strange New Worlds, which I'm hoping incoming chadiswrong email from Cujo for cutting them off.
Yes.
So, oh, look at that. Amazon Prime right to the shuttlecraft. Amazing.
That's right. It's like I see the guy walking up the driveway, and it's like, all right, do I ignore him and make him walk right past me all the way up to the door? Do I roll the window down and accept the package?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yep.
Not for me though. It's for my wife.
Darn.
Oh well.
Amazon packages come here almost daily. It's disgusting. Anyway, okay, so make sure to send us your feedback. Chadiswrong@gmail.com, trekcasttng@gmail.com. Get over to the Facebook group, get onto the Discord, get onto the Instagrams, all those places, the Twitters, all those places that we're at is TrekcastTng. You can find the links all over the place. We have them in the show notes. Obviously, the podcast will be up later today, and we'll have some links there as well over on YouTube. When this show gets done doing the premiere, I'll go slap some stuff over there as well. So Be sure to reach out to us any way you can. Obviously, on the coffee account, keep those donations coming. We've talked a few times in the past about getting some ads going. We're still working that out. So, in the meantime, in the meantime, keep the coffee account donations coming, because all of that goes towards our next convention, whatever we're going to be doing there at that. Obviously, the website's back up as well. That costs money, so we got to pay for that somehow. And in the past month, since we put that website up, we had over 220 people go to it. So apparently, we should have left it up. Sorry. And I'll go fix any spelling errors over there when Dan and Daniel do their grammatical check for me as well. So
there you go.
Anything else, gentlemen, for next week? Big show next week. So make sure you're here, guys. I'll put it in the calendar thing on Discord so you can get a notification automatically. I'll do that right now as soon as we wrap up.
Okay.
Anything else?
Great.
No, I think that's it.
Awesome.
That's it.
Good show. Thanks for coming, guys, to the live chat, both YouTube and Discord. And we will see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Trekcast.